for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, as well as the Minnesota Star-Tribune. But the reason I like that she visits the show is because sometimes she brings her little brother. So now I have to tell my joke. Wait, all the John Barrowman fans, raise your hand just real quick. That's awesome. Okay. This joke is for him, but everybody who's a John Barrowman fan has to help me with this, okay? Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Doctor.
Doctor Who?
So you already know him. Without further ado, here are the siblings.
I thought you'd be used to turning these kind of objects on and off.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to see everybody. Welcome. Thank you for coming on what has been a really great launch period thus far for our latest venture, Carole and I, Hollow Earth. As you can see, the cover here, and one of the little quotes on the cover is, "Imagination can be a dangerous thing." If we take you back a little bit to about, 2 years ago?
Yeah,
2 years ago when we were, Carole comes over and spends about 3 months in the summer sometimes with Scott, my partner, and I. And we love it. Do you? Yeah, you love neighbors love it. Yeah, she's gone. No, we really do love it. It cost me a lot of money because my wine cellar just depletes. But the reason she comes over usually is for the collaborative effort that we have in this process, and that is...
Actually, I come over for the shoes.
Yeah. And so, listen, everybody should have a gay brother because you get fabulous shoes. I'm not going to say anything else on it. Yeah. So we go through the process, and this book originated from a journey from leaving London, driving to our house in South Wales in Cardiff. And I was filming at the time, and the question arose between the two of us after we
Wait a minute. You're missing a whole big bunch of stuff.
Go on, tell it then.
We had actually just come from something that was going on at the BBC where I had been able to kiss David Tennant.
I kissed him and he meant it. The fact that my sister just went like this to me.
We were on this journey, we get in the car, and when John and I travel, and anytime we're working together like this, we get in the car and we just stop at Marks and Spencer's and fill up with candy and sweets. So we were on a major sugar high. Really, you think we have a lot of energy on a regular basis? Oh my goodness, we could have fueled that car.
Yes. And what we do in those situations, we put our iPhones down, turn the record on, and we record our conversations because we think we're really funny.
It's really funny. My two kids, Claire Turner and the acknowledgement in one of our other books at the back is that we were acknowledging Claire and Turner because they're the two kids and two people in our lives who keep telling us we are not as funny as we think we are.
When you've had that much sugar, you are hysterical.
We are hysterical.
Anyway, so we would talk. We raised the question to each other: what would be your superpower if you could have one? And by the time we got past being able to fly, which was pretty quick, and when I said, I'd love to be able to hold my breath like if Captain Jack could hold his breath for a long period of time, she said...
And then I'm like, please, really? If Captain Jack doesn't hold his breath, what the hell's going to happen to him anyway?
He's going to come back.
Yeah.
So we decided that if your imagination was the superpower, and how would that lead to something where you could have an imagination and a talent be drawing, to bring in artwork into the whole situation, that you could do a drawing, create a drawing, or put yourself in the drawing, or bring the people in that drawing to life. And that was the first bit of how Hollow Earth began. Now, by the time we were finished with that journey, but 2.5 hours later, by the time we got to Cardiff, the first book was pretty much
laid out.
Yeah,
pretty much outlined.
And Zach was our first character.
Yes.
But
And Zach is one of the characters in the book that we first imagined, and we imagined him actually from a literary challenge.
Yeah.
And my colleagues in the English department will appreciate this. We imagined him from a literary challenge because we were trying to think if there had ever been a novel that had been written where you had a deaf character as a main character, but you were not, it wasn't in first person. And we could think of a number of novels with deaf characters, but we couldn't necessarily think of very many where the deaf character was in third person, because that would be really very much of a challenge to do. So we were playing off of that, and then by the time we got to Cardiff, our sweeties were all done, our candies were gone, and we had the outline for the book.
Correct, and then she started on the wine. So the story is about Matt and Emily Calder, twins, who, I'll just give you this little brief thing, twins who live with their single mom in central London. They are animari, a part of a sect that can bring animation or animate drawings or put themselves into drawings. Once they have a situation that happens to them in central London, they have to flee because the bad guys then want to get a hold of them because they see that this power could be used for something bad. So they flee with their mother Sandy to an island off of the coast of Scotland called Auchinmarn.
Let's do that again.
Auchinmarn. The island actually exists, but it is not called Auchinmarn because we then changed it to honor our grandmother, whose name was Marn. And we used to go there with her and my mom and dad and our family to this island on little vacations, where they would try to leave me and get rid of me.
Apparently it never worked.
So they go up to stay with their grandfather, and they meet Zach and other characters that are involved in the book. And in a nutshell, on the island is where their adventures begin.
Because on the island, there are some deep, dark secrets. And those deep, dark secrets have very serious implications for these kids who have superpowers for their imagination. Because this island has been inhabited by monks from the Middle Ages and forward, and they kept, written in a book, trapped in a book, all the beasts and monsters that ever existed in stories, ever existed in fairy tales. And in order to keep them out of the world that was becoming more enlightened, they trapped them in a book of beasts. And in Hollow Earth is one of the places where all those beasts were trapped. And it is part of this island in Scotland.
Thank you.
This quote.
How many of you know a William Blake? Especially kids, or anyone know William?
And in this building, if you didn't, there's a problem.
William Blake is one of our favorites, and we thought this quote, when we found it, was really fitting for the beginning of the book. In the universe, there are things that are known and things that are unknown, and in between, there are doors. And for us, our twins in this book, Matt and Em, are the doors between the real and the unreal because they can shift with their imaginations. I have one of my students. Isn't that like considered cruel and unusual to make your students sit down there?
You cruel and unusual? Never.
Do you know
Yes,
who recognizes
these are.
these two?
I know, isn't that awesome? I look great in a skirt. Carol looks like a munchkin. It was later that she sprouted.
I think what's really sad about this is that my mom sent him to school in shorts and a shirt and tie.
Don't you talk bad about my mother.
My mother too. All right, great. Can we go? Let's go to the next one, and we'll do a little audience interaction, and then Molly's going to chat with us.
Do you have a look at this painting? This is a painting that inspired part of the story. And Carol and I have had the great pleasure the last few days of traveling around the Midwest, and we've gone to different schools. In fact, we brought a school here to Alverno today to do a presentation with them. And I think it's really nice if you guys can get involved the same way they did. If you just raise your hands, we'll find out and speak quite loudly.
Or
Loudly. What do you observe about this painting in particular?
And
Anything
maybe
that
if
sticks
you've got
out?
kids around you, we can
Yeah,
we
kids,
see the kids'
young
hands, we'll
ones.
pick for them.
Anyone? Don't be
What
afraid.
do you notice about this
Yes.
painting?
He's coming out of windows.
The dude is crying.
Tap.
And for those of you who don't understand 21st century lingo, the boy is climbing out of the picture. Doesn't mean the dude is coming out of the closet. Could be. It could be. Because this dude did a long time ago.
What else do you notice? Yes, right here.
He's stepping into the light.
He's stepping into the light. Very good. Wonderful. Carole E.
Yes.
He's skinny and his clothes are they're not well fitting.
Yes.
Right.
Good. Very
He
good.
is skinny because you can see his ribs
Yes.
and his
All right.
neck bone.
All the way in the back over there. Yeah.
A big
With the
hard
long hair. Yes.
He's shoeless.
He's shoeless.
Yes. Very
Correct?
good.
Yes, this
Yes.
young lady.
Oh, I love you. Yes. he
That's
looks-
awesome.
He looks very poor and he's been chased by a monster.
Yes.
Okay, the look on his face, it looks like whatever's in our world is more interesting or hopeful than whatever he's using behind there.
So what kind of expression do you see on his face? Sorry? Curious.
All right, wait. Give us a curious, John.
Really?
Yes.
Any other expressions you
What
can see?
other one? Oh, bless you.
Bless you.
Yes, right here.
He's scared?
Scared.
He's scared.
How about scared? Any other kids who've got a hand up that we're not seeing? Anybody? Yeah. Okay.
Wonder.
Wonder.
Oh, that's a hard one. I'm not even going to tell you what I think that one is.
I actually might have just done it.
Any
Anyone
others?
else? Anyone else? Yes, one right here. It's coming out of the black, so the darkness is making him come out of the painting.
And that's exactly, when John and I first saw this painting, it sort of triggered I lost my partner here.
Sorry, I was having an eye
In a
off.
moment, an eye off. Okay.
Kenny Chesney. Don't you love your little brother?
Like hurting a cat. One of the things that we loved about this picture is that when we looked at this, both of us almost at the same time said, what on earth is in the darkness that he is fleeing from? And that's really where our Hollow Earth came from. It's the darkness inside a painting. It's the dark part of the imagination. And this kid is crawling out from it. And this was really an inspiration for us.
Why would anybody want to have this in their house? Can you imagine?
You know those eyes following you all the time? It would be like living
This is
with you.
the favorite piece of work that we have in our art collection, and it's in your bedroom for the next 3 nights. I'm staying at Holiday Inn.
That's camping to me.
That's great, you guys. Thank you. That's the inspiration for your book. You both, because there's so much focus on art, has that always been a part of your lives? Have you always loved art? Are you both artists yourselves?
We are terrible artists, actually.
If we had to draw the illustrations or anything for the books, they'd be stick figures. They'd be like Hangman.
I have to say, the maps and the drawings that are in the front of Hollow Earth,
Yeah.
we